I'm not gonna lie, if a setup had set up as 7/8, I would have missed it. Because I was extremely tired from yesterday's 3-trip bike session. Anyway, this could actually be. I'm not. This isn't. This is just something I'm playing around with. But this could be a trade right here. Let's actually just emulate it. So you'd be in about there. Yeah, and then stop. I guess you would have to decide. I mean, you would be deciding this on the spot, right? I mean, this is a pretty damn iffy stop. Actually, would this be valid? Let me just cheat to say just before like fucking things. So, yeah. So I guess you can just execute on the bar and just that's what I said there. And it's just a thing where like you kind of just go, you're just kind of shooting for basically a consistent R on a consistent basis. So to be honest, it probably is a stop like that, and I just go for something like this. Let me just check this isn't good. I do not want to see these profile. This is just something I'm looking at on the 1 minute. So I mean, you had a setup here too, and then you would have entered. You would have entered there, and then stop loss. You could have just placed about there. To be honest, I mean this is quite an iffy stop. But yeah, I'd probably play something like that, and then yeah, just go for a 1 or 2. Or to be honest, I'd probably just target this. Yeah. And same for this therefore, so you just target about there. To be honest, I'd probably just target there. So yeah. And you did also have a setup here, so like this, and then this, and just go with this, and then break, then enter on the FVJ, and then have your stop about there, and then you would have also, I probably just would have went for a 1 or 2 here. But yeah, there's definitely a good R to capitalize on here. I mean, I've done this one real time, so we'll see what happens, right? But of course, it's just a paper trade. No 2022 ICT type shit here. But like the thing is, no hate to ICT, but like I'm talking about like the Instagram geezers. And also this is kind of talk thinking as if like, okay, yeah, this shit's gonna work, and I'm doing it all in advance. I mean, no, this trade could easily stop me out. It could easily win, right? But the reason why I wanted this stop is because obviously, so if you just go with the, like, you're basically going with non-religious chalk, so it's not like a thing of where like you'll go for this chalk and then you'll enter bam. No, you're just using the overall. You're using the overall, so you're basically, in essence, you need to have the experience to be able to determine what a overall thing like an overall chalk is. So here's your low, and then here, and then what's the overall low that breaks the high? It's this. I'm really happy I've seen this actually, because yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of tempted to. If I get an opportunity, I'm gonna enter this just for fun. So what's the TP? So if you're risking 100 divided by 0.00131, 0.76. Let's see if we can get an entry. I'm just going to be doing it on a 10k. .76. So with this 1M thing, it's very, very, very important that you get the right entry. Because, I mean, well, it just is. Like, you need to just enter where your position is and wait, basically, and if it goes without you, it goes without you. So, yeah, but the reason why, like I said, I'm using this stop is I'm keeping a close eye on it, by the way. But the reason why I'm using this stop is because, okay, so it looks like we could possibly get an entry, and let's not press the wrong button because I am really rusty. But yeah, so the reason why I use a stop, so if you just do this, so what's the overall break? I would just go with this. Come on, go a bit higher. Right, yeah, so. Okay, so we're in. And our stop is $100 away, and TP is just at those lows. This low right there. For a TP of 1.5%. And I am actually doing this live. I've literally just executed. So yeah, that is the stop. Well, so yeah, this is just a complete, like, I may as well just well, I've got the screenshots, so I don't need to like show it on here. So I can put the screenshot. Whatever. Let's just fucking do it. There we go. So yeah, that's your TP, and then obviously that's the stop. We're risking 100, okay, 1% to make 1.5 basically. And to be honest, I think that this approach is actually better in terms of risk reward. But the standard strategy thing, and this isn't even the standard strategy variant of the one thing that I'm looking to do. I'm just gonna delete that message because I don't really want it in my thing. But like this, like 1M thing, it isn't even the thing that I'm looking to do. That's something a bit different. So it's when like you got to see the 1 hour setup appropriately. And it's a very strong case that the market is going to set up in the way that it needs to set up. Yeah. So then you would be in there, like I said, and then you stop. I mean, to be honest, one there. Yeah, and then here you got like the this would be a low and high, and then which is the pivot that breaks it. The strong pivot anyway. It's this. So to be honest, we kind of probably could have a bit of a better R here, but yeah. Anyway, and then you end on the first FEJ here, and then place your stop accordingly. But I'm kind of going a bit off my experience here, to be honest. Just I kind of consider this whole thing, you know, and just putting it a bit at the 3/4 point of this thing. But yeah, I think it would be fine to TP here. Of course you got like, because I mean you kind of want to go for a 2R trade, to be honest. But like, I don't know, maybe it's there. I don't know. I think I think 1.5 R minimum, but I guess you could just go a bit below this low, you know. And then you might be thinking, well, what's the difference between like what 1.5 R and 1.6? Well, it does add up. It will add up. That, to be honest, if you take 10 trades and then you get an extra 0.25 R per trade, actually see what that amounts to. It definitely will make a difference. Like, I mean, 0.25 times 10. 2.5 R, yeah, there we go. So, you just want a TP based on your experience, but like, with the, this is with this approach. With the other thing, yeah, I am. So I can show it actually, because it was in play yesterday. So this is it. So, like, we need it was a very strong case that the market from 7 was going to pull up to here, like from the most recent 1 hour bar close, therefore from 7. Alright, and that was backed up by an array of time frames pointing to that likely case. But the 8 hour and the 7 hour were wick rejecting at the highs, meaning the most recent 8 and 7 hour bar closes, where they closed the way they did amongst the region of what push was in play relative to those time frames. We see the most recent bar close was closing wick rejecting the very highs, signifying / signaling that a reversal is likely to occur soon. Basically, it's nearing a reversal / flip, right? And then that was the same with also the daily too. The 12 hour I think was actually a bit bullish. But then that filters into like I think it was the 4 and 3, and then the 2 and then the 1, especially. Like, so once you went through all those time frames, you get the 1 hour, and you see what way would be most appropriate to see the 1 hour set up to get on board with whatever the most probable direction is likely to pan out over 7 till 10, which makes most sense to get on board with. And anyway, you basically then look for a overall 1M chalk thing, so you'd mark out your leg, right? And to be honest, I guess you could mark out the last couple, so it would be this. So you're not being religious with them, you know what I mean? So it's like, to be honest, like here, I wouldn't mark up this. It's just a bit iffy, like, because then the mark goes up here, and then you have to enter. It's like, no, you do not want to be. I remember how this used to go back in the day. It just didn't work, you know. Like, I mean, religious chalks. Okay, sometimes you get that absolute sweet entry, like, I mean, for example, the religious chalk here would be this. And then like, you know, here's the flip what broke the slow, right? And then you have to enter here and get smoked, or maybe get smoked anyway. But if you just use the fucking overall, look what happens. See, here's the overall, bam, this is the overall high, and this was the pivot I was actually targeting, which is the liquidity pivot just below the zone we need. So we're using similar logic over there in this actual live trade, which is pretty cool. And to be honest, I would look to enter technically you'd be entering on the first FVG, so you'd be entering here, but I don't know, I'd probably try and get like here at least. So, and plus this is in Asia too, right? So if you just enter there, and then I would look to possibly have my stop about halfway here, halfway of this zone, and then obviously this is the complete different strategy, but I'm just making an example of like going for non-religious chalks basically. You just don't want to, and then here I'd probably just target about this region. Let's just go there, yeah. And then, well, you get I'd probably go a bit up actually. Just, oh shit, is it like melting? Or is it soaring a bit? No. I thought it was melting. Don't really care, to be honest. It's something I would look to trade. Anyway, so yeah, that's this trade. But then anyway here, like, so if we're looking to put if we're looking for the 1 hour, and we need, and it's like if we're looking for to get on board with starting strategy, if we need to see the 1 hour push to here, right, then and it's a strong case that the market's likely going to set up, and it's like, yeah, mate, you would not want to, for example, sell the open, based on the way, like, or like the 1, 2, 3, 4 hour, and maybe somewhat slightly of a direction what the 12 hour in this day's case suggested could unfold, like with regard to how their most recent bar, their time frame, most recent bar closed, formed the way however they were, adds the region of the push that was in play, that the most recent bar closed the way it did at, suggesting what sort of movement slash reaction the market's likely to undergo, or that's likely to go underway, let's say. And anyway, yeah, but then what you'll do basically is, as of 7, you'll look for the non-religious chalk, like the overall non-religious chalk, and then you'll just look to enter on basically the first FEJ that forms, pretty much, but or just a key zone. So to be honest, I mean, you could just enter at 7, to be honest, on this day. Yeah, you don't want to be picky. Like, that doesn't get you very far. I think, yeah, so you could basically just enter anywhere in here, and then you'd get a nice 1.8R. And then if you did enter there, you would want your stop about here. So yeah, you're getting about an extra 1.8R, and I'm just targeting, well, yeah. So I went just above this high. Okay, so 0.65. Yeah, and then so here's a good example of like a non-religious chalk. Well, I mean, first of all, you would also have the context for what way you're looking for the market to set up. So I mean, this is like even more contextually driven, this kind of setup. So like, I mean, you got this low, you got the high, you got this low, and then you got this high, right? Okay, but then you come down and you make another high. I would personally keep that low and go with that high, and then this would be a range, and then you break, and there's your high. That didn't go past, and if it did even, I'd probably still keep this range. But yeah, anyway, nice low, bam, bam, bam. This is good. And then bam, and then entering the first FEJ that forms, and personally I would probably up the stop a bit here, to be honest. Yeah, go like half this zone, and then if you're entering here, I would just look to get a 2R on this day. You could probably go for way more, to be honest, but I mean, you're not complaining with a consistent 2R to 1.5, are you? I mean, look how much time this took. This took about 32 minutes. Like, Yeah, but you're not just looking for them willy-nilly at any place. This is just like like for example, if you did do that anyway, you would probably get wrecked a few times. And I mean, on this day we were looking for cells, right? There was a cell bias. I haven't actually done the bias for today. So, but I do know that I'm also just testing this trade out. You know, it's literally a 10k account. I need to get another couple of 10k alphas anyway for testing this bad boy out. Basically, it's basically a MMXM, isn't it? And this was a market maker buy model, which utilized some concepts from top-down market cycle phase analysis, Murchison bar close, and assessing the form of the Murchison bar close and where it closed the way it did, at what region of the push, whatever's in play, that the Murchison bar closed the way it did, sat amongst. And I also want to load up on two 10k accounts for standard strategy GU and EU. So yeah, on top of the 50k and this and on the 50ks and the 25s. But yeah, so that's what we need to do today. So yeah, it is okay this, and plus it just looks like a kind of good setup, to be honest. But anyway, I'm just something I'm playing with. But anyway, it would just keep tracking with the thing. So I would probably just go with like this, yeah, this whole leg, and then this, and then it does break. So you would have to enter this, sadly. That you can't get away from this, you just can't. But if you just keep tracking the lows, I would just go with this and this. Flip, yeah, this does look okay, to be honest. And then this, and then you would get an entry here, and you would just end on the first FEJ prior to the break. You'd enter here, therefore, and I'd have my stop about there, and would enter, and it'd look something like this. Yeah, I'd just target these highs, 1.5R, 5.5R rather. And then if you just keep tracking, high, low, yes, I would go with that. And then, like, yeah, to be honest, I would go with this too. And then this, and then first FEJ before the break, you would be entering there. I'll track this as one leg, so I guess you could move that and put that there, and then you'd break again. Yeah, but I probably would still look to enter this, to be honest. But this would be your overall, and this is. To lock in moisture and leave my skin feeling smooth and glowing. Get the shave made for your skin. My skin, my way. Venus. I'd look to enter there. This would be a good one because I don't actually see what happens. And then I just looked at. I think I was actually looking. Oh no, I wouldn't have been. But look, you're not looking to. I mean, you're not looking to trade 24/7, right? But you, I mean, I really hope these things are also good. Because I would have to do all that thing again. But yeah, so this is your overall structure. This is the low that broke the high, and then from here I would just look to enter here, and then it comes down. I would personally just look for I'd probably just look for this high, to be honest. Just be happy with whatever I could get, and yeah, well, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Because I didn't know in advance what happened there. But yeah, and then so this would be a leg, and then this by the seams of it, broke it, and then this. So here you'd be very careful. You would not classify this, even though you probably would be okay, but you just wouldn't anyway. Like I was just gonna say, you'd probably be okay even if there was an FEJ in here, which there is, but because you wouldn't have your stop there, you would have it a bit above. But yeah, anyway, and then it fucking pummels lower. You'd be entering here, and then I would personally have my stop about there, and then I would just probably go for, well, let's just have a look. Yeah, I think you could probably pass an account with this, actually, to be honest. But if you entered here, but you would have to really be on your A game. Gives you it's a hardcore scalping, right? I mean, ICT style too. Maybe just a couple trades limit your sell a day, something like that, like Divinity or whatever his name is. I mean, this would be a prime TP, to be honest. So it comes lower, and then you could just maybe go a bit below the low, or not gonna lie, I'd probably go for this low. So about there. Nice. So yeah, and I mean, there is a loss in here which I just didn't mark, but like, I mean, so it would be this, and then you would be looking to enter, by the looks of it there, and well, you would have your stop. In my case, over there, and then you get raped. But on this day, there was a sell bias, and this looks pretty iffy, right? It doesn't look clean at all. Okay, so it looks like it's dropping. I think. Oh, nice. So yeah, and we're looking. So if you get in here, this is the high that broke, and then you enter. And then you're looking to basically gun for this low. So yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep my stop where it is. This low looks good. Anyway, yeah. So, and this isn't this. I wasn't even meaning to mark out trades. I'm just marking out structure. So like overall, non-religious chalks, as I call them. You definitely like not a religious chalk would be like this. Of course it works, but it's like, again, I'll know. I mean, I can mark this here, you know. And then you got this. This would be a low at first, but then this is the one that breaks, and then here, and you could look to enter there. Came back up, and then what do you know? Comes lower. Oh, it looks like it's really melting. Let's just look to TP. Let's see if it has a fast. Can I like close on the chart, make it a bit more edgy? Might not be the day, or rather the point. And like the thing is as well, I mean, you could kind of think of like what a point when to add, but then again, you have to be a real like crazy in the head trader to do something like that. Because I mean, if you add right, and then you have your stop about here, you're taking on a hell of a lot more risk. And also, you could literally enter and you could get stopped out, and then you could come up and then you could fucking pummel lower, and then you've basically nullified your outcome. Um, you know what I mean? So, um, mm-hmm. Yes. These are religious chocks, so this would be a high and low now. On the 1M anyway. Tracking 1M highs and lows overall. Non-religious though. Okay, so I guess you could also form like some sort of a break-even point. So I think now it would be okay to decrease risk to that high, because I didn't actually enter on that high, I don't think. 1 3 10, yeah, no. There we go. So decreased risk to just $80. I know it's still basically full, but we're basically going for 2R now. It's a 2R trade now. So I'm just gonna keep stopping the initial place though, to be honest, I think. But if I look again, like what's this? So we got this high and low, high, low, high, low, and then you kind of got this and then this, and it becomes more evident here. And then break, and then this would be a high, and then this would be a low, and then so just for future, mark that up like that. So to be honest, I'm just actually gonna keep full risk. Yeah, so I've put the stop back to where it was. I haven't moved it on the chart, but yeah. Anyway, I would just go back to what we were doing. Jesus, it's volatile, eh? I'm just gonna see if there's like a way that I can like close. No, so there's not a way that like I can click X on the position itself. I don't think. Oh shit. I blatantly just closed it. Okay, but we'll still make what okay, so I've kind of done this pretty cool, but I just executed another position of 0.5 lots, and we'll make well, we still need to make, in order to, it was a full TP of like what do you I don't know, so we're not going to make what we initially were going to, but we'll still make a fine amount. So we'll just TP about there. So we'll make 1%. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I guess I could just Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, it'll be good. And we just TP there. And then yeah. Okay. So I know how to close manually or at once. Uh-huh. Yeah. So you click on the thing and then there's an X that comes up at the bottom, which you can just click on. Okay. Anyway, let's just leave this. So yeah, like this would be it, and you enter here and then you have your stop technically there, to be honest. And then yeah, you're looking for the slow basically. So yeah, just set an alert at this low. Why doesn't it extend outwards? Can't believe I closed the initial position. That's so gay. To be honest, I don't know why it's not just stretching out. And wait, so our line is there. So yeah, we just need it there. So anyway, if I go back to what I was doing, we were yeah. So you see how I can kind of take up mental capital to this kind of style. But anyway, yeah, I was going on about how like I was going on about non-religious chocks, and anyway, you kind of got this going on, yeah, and then break, and then well, you get enter here, stop, yeah, you could go about there, and for this, yeah, you could just kind of target this area, and you get a nice 1 to 2, and then if you continue to track, if you continue to track the like overalls, yes. So if it came up and it broke lower, I might have took this. I don't know. Well, would have just had to see. But you know, like you're also going all based on like what low in a high's case broke the high, but like a non-religious low. So it's like, you know, it's not, for example, this. Or well, that wouldn't even be that. But like you get what I mean. You're not being picky with it. So like here, it has to be very clear, and this is where experience comes into play. This would be an absolutely beautiful entry. So you would be in there, and you could just have your stop there, and you could TP there. Very easy trade that. But yeah, if you keep marking out highs and lows, this, you get another entry. But yeah, it would look there, and enter, and then I would probably put my stop there, and yeah, you'd probably get another TP. But yeah, you get the gist. And that's the high that broke the low. And here, yeah, and you keep pushing lower. This. Alright. I think it's hit TP. hasn't, not yet. Um, so here you would probably have to be a bit, I mean, yeah, I would go with this and see if we're okay. Okay, so it does go up, but I mean, so basically, what I'm looking for now on the euro is basically how it reacts at the. So you get the gist, right? Anyway, so I'm basically looking for how it's going to react here. So how the market pushes beneath this. If it just like a slow push lower and then doop, and then like a hook, caught the fish, and it's like it pull up. Uh, I would look to just close because but yeah, to be honest, people going long here, I think they're destined for doom. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. But to be honest, what I was going to go over today was not this. It was going to be the top-down market cycle phase analysis of what way I needed, what way would be most appropriate to see the one I was set up in order to get on board with whatever direction is poised to prevail. Now, um, also for this 1 minute thing on the on the draw, um, like it's also best by the way too like at like key points, but you don't really need key points of liquidity, but this kind of was. I mean, did it go above Asia high too? Yeah, so this is like an Asia high sweep too. So this is like literally prime, so it's like you got the sweep and then this like enter place to stop here, and then target a liquidity point, which for me would be there. Uh-huh. Because most of the time you want to 1 to 2, but anyway, yeah. You get this low and then this high break and end on the first FEJ. So you enter in here, and yeah, we also ended pretty easily too without any tools like magic keys, which is also good to see. You don't need a precise entry; you just need it relatively, and yeah. Um, but it's you're only looking to execute this thing, like where you look for a clean boss, or which would be a non-religious boss of chalk. Well, it's like the overall boss of chalk. It's not religious. Like I said, that's very important. And you would no, and you would look to just enter on the chalk slash boss, which in this case it's just a boss, like in anticipation of then looking for the first FEG that forms and then riding the wave up basically, because you've got that bias. It's basically market maker sell model, market maker buy model, isn't it? So yeah, and then target a liquidity point before the 1 hour point that you're looking for. But yeah. Um. Uh-huh. So yeah, so the euro is playing about, to be honest. It's ranging around, but like to be honest, that's what you'd be saying here. Not, and then also look at this, comes down and it pummels lower. Yeah, it's kind of a straight drop. Here, it's playing around, to be honest, and and then imagine this, or imagine this, and then boom, 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 boom. This would be great. The only reason I would use this internal is because like it's just, I mean, look at the leg, it's just huge, and then you got this push higher and this push lower, and then it's like bam, and then just go with the overall. Just would make sense to have a punt at basically, and then tracking the overalls. So yeah, I'm gonna do the overall top-down analysis now. So I'm gonna cut this video and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna like go again basically, because like I've made a completely separate video basically, showcasing something new that I am looking to use, but yeah, like it's mainly just on the back of standard strat thing though. So like where you got the way you need to see the 1 hour setup, for example, pulling above this high. Well, look for the first 1M chock slash boss, which in this case would be hello, hi. Yeah, that's really like a religious one. So here, here, and then barn break, and then just enter on the first FEJ that forms and stop loss here, and then enter, and then target a liquidity point before that high. So if you needed to see a push there, to be honest, you would be looking at TP about just above here. So yeah, this trade could easily lose. It's kind of shit that, to be honest, but anyway, yeah, that's whatever it is. It's gonna happen. So yeah, but if you were entering there, I mean, you in here and then just put your stop about. Yeah, you'd have it about there, and then I would just look for about there. To be honest, I'd just go for the 1.5. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna cut this video and I'm gonna do the top down market cycle phase analysis